And welcome to the program, Mr. President. Can I just start by asking you a very simple question? You have declared war on gangs. We've just described how very much power they have. Are you confident that you are in control of your country?
Hello, thank you for having me here. First, I've declared war on terrorists. These are not conventional gangs. They are terrorist groups. They are highly organized, structured, armed forces that terrorize complete regions and have had control in the past few years of our nation's prisons. I'm confident that we can win this war. I'm confident that we can restore peace and restore stability in a country that has all, that has natural resources, that has a stable dollarized economy, and that we can provide employment and attract investment in the near future.
And just to say, we have a slight delay, so our viewers will understand that, long distance and all the rest of it. But how much of an issue is it for you in your fight? You call it terrorism, others have called it, fight against drug cartels, that the main perpetrator, this guy who's nicknamed Fito, appears to be still at large, and there are a certain, 43 prisoners remaining at large after the crackdown. The fact of those people being at large, how difficult does that make your current operation?
We are working in an orderly manner. We have freed 170 hostages, and we have restored stability in the prisons right now. We have one leader at large. We have another one, which is Colompico at large, and the rest, we're tracking them down. Right now, the army and the police are working together, and the whole nation is united to actually eliminate this threat. People want peace. People want to be able to walk freely on the street, to have their own business, to have stability, so that their kids can go to parks, can go to school, can go also to the university, the older kids. And I believe that our operation is being successful at the moment. We are having progress, and I'm sure that we will have a full victory at the end.
I mean, you really do talk in war terms, victory, and militarization, the war, etc. So can you, what is your example? What is your sort of, I guess, plan? We know that there is a similar, and there has been a similar war on gangs, war on, as they call it, terror or drugs in El Salvador. Is that your example for how to continue and how to wage this fight?
No, it's not. First, there's two different nations, two different realities, culturally, economically. Secondly, I believe in something that I've talked since the campaign, that we need to take control of the country. We have over 30,000 members of these narco-terrorist groups that are threatening the whole population. So we're militarizing the ports, we're protecting our borders, we're reestablishing control in our prisons, and at the same time, with intelligence, with the CS, with military intelligence, we're working on breaking the cycle and breaking the chain of financing also for these narco-terrorist groups.
Just to pick up on...
It's a different reality, it's a different situation.
Right, but the thing is...
And I do believe that...
Yeah?
I do believe in democracy. I do believe in a country being united. I've requested, without the obligation, the support of the parliament, which in a unanimous way supported my decree. I've asked also the court to give us their opinion. They're supporting our fight. So we are respecting the different powers of the state, and in a democratic way, we are fighting for peace. We're fighting for progress.
I ask you because many in El Salvador see their method has been successful. They can now go back outside, eating at restaurants, walking around on the street. Even though it's a very brutal crackdown, it's effectively destroyed the gang problem there. Do you think you might ever be tempted to do that if you're having difficulty doing it the way you're doing now?
I believe in the Ecuadorian way, and I believe in the Noboa way. So I think that we have our own style, we have our own way of governing in a democratic way, and we need to reestablish peace. And the moment that the people just wish for me not to be here, I will gladly leave and go back to my family, go back to my businesses.
Let me ask you about the U.S. Obviously, the United States is an ally. It sent some top officials, both from the military and from the State Department. And I'm wondering what you're hoping to get from them, what kind of aid you need. And most specifically, do you plan to reopen a DEA base like there was in previous Ecuadorian governments to deal with these problems?
It's unconstitutional to do so. We cannot have foreign bases in Ecuador according to our new constitution from 2008, but we can work together. We can have cooperation. We can have the DEA work with the CS, work with the anti-narcotics police here, and help us fight against these terrorist groups, which have a lot of money, have a lot of resources, have a lot of guns. So we need international cooperation. I would gladly accept cooperation from the US. We need equipment, we need weapons, we need intelligence. And I think that this is a global problem. It's not only in Ecuador. This is a problem that goes beyond borders. About 40% of the drugs that come out of Ecuador go to the States, another similar percentage to Europe. So this has to be treated as an international problem.
Well, explain then to our viewers a little bit, because your country does not produce the kind of drugs that are in question, does not produce cocaine, and yet your country's become implicated. Is that because of the surrounding countries? We know there's a big problem and a state of emergency in parts of Peru. Colombia obviously has had a major drug-producing part of the economy there. Mexican cartels appear to be helping the Ecuadorian gangs and cartels. Explain why Ecuador became caught in this.
There are similar elements. I think there were weak institutions, number one. Number two, if we're a dollarized economy, it's easier to purchase, transport drugs. There's no currency exchange. So we use the dollar, which is the international currency for drugs. We have to say it as it is. Also, the fact that Ecuador is an exporter of refrigerated goods and of food. The port of Guayaquil is the third largest port in Latin America in terms of volumes. So number one is Santos in Brazil, number two is Manzanillo in Mexico, number three is Guayaquil, Ecuador. So it's a logistics hub for the whole region. It's a dollarized economy, and I think that these narco-terrorist groups, international groups, have taken advantage of this situation. Right now, we're trying to reestablish order with strong institutions, with international cooperation, and with more clear laws about what is allowed and not allowed.
And just to pick up on, you clearly made a call for more equipment, all sorts of things that you need from the United States or elsewhere to help you with this. Do you have enough? Is your military, which has been set on this issue, confident that it has the equipment to wage this war, as you call it?
I'm proud of our armed forces as well as the national police, but we do need help. This is the reality. We do need help in equipment, in training. We do need additional help in weapons, and we're not, ashamed of saying so. We have a very strong military and police, but we'll always need international cooperation for an international problem.
And finally, Mr. President, you alluded to this, obviously, where there is a demand, there is supply, and et cetera, and your country is caught up as well as other Latin American countries. So it appears that many believe that the war on drugs globally has failed and that there are many countries and more politicians moving to essentially legalize more and more drugs. Do you think that is the answer, even when it comes to something like cocaine or other such things?
I don't think that's the answer, especially not for cocaine. I do believe that we need to strengthen our health system, we need to strengthen our social services, and we need to help the people. First of all, we need to give the Ecuadorian family an opportunity to progress, to give an opportunity to have a better life. And I don't think that the solution is to legalize drugs. Hemos tenido contacto con los Estados Unidos y la comandante Richardson va a venir acá con una comitiva para hablar con nuestras Fuerzas Armadas y con la policía en los próximos días. No nos han dicho el momento exacto, pero va a ser esta semana. Pero aún así todavía no tenemos una idea clara del paquete de ayuda que va a haber, el cual todavía lo debemos de discutir, porque hay necesidades también para mantener esta guerra. Y asimismo también hay necesidades para tener estabilidad económica dentro del país.